The first episode of the series Welcome to Derry has been officially released. This series, where we will gradually delve into Pennywise's past in the town of Derry, made its debut with very high ratings. There are many people wondering why the series progresses from the future to the past. Because in this production, which we will watch for a total of 3 seasons, each new season will go back 27 years. While the first season of the series takes place in 1962, the second season will be set in 1935. The third season will be the finale and will take place in 1908. The reason why the series moves from the future to the past has actually been explained by the producers. Throughout history, Pennywise has been known by many different names and has taken on many different forms. They thought that if the series started with the first version in which Pennywise appeared, people would find it very strange. For this reason, they will rewind Pennywise's development from his final form back to his first version. In the first episode of the series, a variety of interesting details await us. As I tell you all the details about the episode, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos and get notified instantly. The series really started off very well. We saw a child introduced as if he were the main character get caught and sacrificed by Pennywise, just like in the first 2 movies. In fact, the opening scene of the series was perfectly suited to the atmosphere we'll see in the coming seasons. Because Pennywise is not just a single person or a single creature. Yes, it's a shapeshifter, but it can also enter someone's mind and make them perceive the place differently. It can be in several different places at the same time. In this way, it's as if it were a family. He set up a game for the hitchhiking kid. He knew the kid had family issues and simulated a family for him. We know that Pennywise can often drive a car and make different places appear however he wants. Sometimes by doing things that only children could see, he prevented adults from noticing. Therefore, the opening scene was truly impressive. Since the series is set in 1962, we adapt to the atmosphere of that era. On one hand, the army is trying to assess the strategic position of Derry. The town of Derry wasn't always an empty place. In the past, the government was going to make significant investments here. But thanks to Pennywise, most people were driven away from here. The reason Pennywise appears every 27 years is not just to satisfy his hunger. If it were up to him, he would kill everyone in the town. However, if there are no people left in the town, Pennywise would starve because he wouldn't be able to come out. If Pennywise tries to leave Derry, he becomes weak, loses his powers, and starts to fall apart. For this reason, leaving the area where he first landed on Earth, that is Derry, would be his end. In the scene where we enter the school, we once again see children being bullied. This has become a cliché by now. However, there is another striking detail at the school. Here, we see a mascot dressed in a turtle costume. If you pay attention to the IT series, you'll notice that turtle details appear in many places. The reason for this is explained by Stephen King, the author of Pennywise, in his origin story. This cosmic turtle named Maturin is a being that carries the world and reality on its back, and is also Pennywise's greatest enemy. In his battle with Pennywise, Maturin weakened him and exiled him to the world, that is, to the town of Derry. For this reason, Pennywise doesn't like turtles and hates Maturin. Pennywise is a shapeshifter, but in the 5th dimension, its appearance was in the form of a spider. That's why, again in the movies, when Pennywise started to become extremely powerful, spider legs would emerge. In fact, since Pennywise comes from the macrocosm and is made up of deadlights, it's normal for it to shapeshift or completely reshape a place. You can think of it like Edith in Spider-Man: Far From Home. The drones would scan the surroundings and recreate everything from scratch. In the same way, the deadlights can create a simulated environment. But it does this not technologically, but cosmically. The topics discussed at school begin with 2 kids who believe we're not alone in the world. These kids are really obsessed with aliens and shape-shifting creatures. They even drew a story they wrote themselves, where a Martian comes to Earth from space, kidnaps children, and kills people. At the beginning of the episode, we learned that the name of Pennywise's first victim was Matty, and he disappeared 4 months ago. Mitty wasn't someone who was well liked or had many friends in this town. He only had 2 friends, and he also befriended a girl who was an outcast. It seems we're dealing with a group of friends that would catch Pennywise's attention. They're all seen as odd by others, and what they say isn't really taken seriously. In addition to the turtle references throughout the episode, we also see DC Comics. These comics show the early issues of DC, and naturally, since DC is owned by Warner Bros., it means DC is considered canon in the IT universe. Of course, back then, the comics were published as detective comics. In addition, we also see soldiers and the Air Force team in the series. Generally, the Air Force, meaning people coming from outside the town, are present. Of course, these are not children, they are all adults. In some scenes, I wondered if Pennywise actually dares to challenge them, but I guess in the upcoming episodes, these soldiers will also get involved. Because the series takes place in 1962, which was the Cold War era for the United States. The reason why military projects like the B-52 bomber and the secret base are mentioned is actually because of this. However, the situation is not as it seems, of course. The main reason the soldiers have come here is to find the meteorite that brought Pennywise. They think it could be a weapon and are trying to find it. In fact, in the upcoming episodes, they will also touch on the tribe that first encountered Pennywise. This tribe even tried to imprison it in the past, but Pennywise killed them all. Still, we will see in the coming years that some members survived. So, even though it seems like the kids are alone right now, in the upcoming episodes they'll show that many people are actually after Pennywise. I have to admit, the ending of the episode unfolded in a way I never expected. At the very least, the kids I thought would be the main characters this season were killed by the mutant baby. Some of these kids even thought that the military personnel were conducting mutant experiments. But in reality, this was a time when Pennywise was more ruthless and powerful than ever before. Yes, Pennywise used to be much more merciless and aggressive. In this episode, what he did to those kids is something he never did to any child in the movies. Usually they could all escape by telling themselves, "It's not real, it's not real." However, Pennywise is now much more ruthless, and he will pay the price for this cruelty. Because of his aggression and incompetence, everyone will be after him. But at the end of this episode, the blame for the children he killed will probably fall on others. Still, when they start investigating the mysterious history of Derry and children facing the same problems begin to appear, everything will completely change. Meanwhile, we also see Dexter's father, Harry Morgan, appearing in the series. I think it was actually a pretty good start for the first episode, and there were scenes that genuinely gave me chills while watching. It looks like the series will progress successfully. Of course, in productions like this, the first episode is usually extremely attention-grabbing, and the following episodes tend to be more like transition episodes. However, the purpose of this series is not just to talk about the mystery of Pennywise. Since it also aims to deliver horror and suspense to the audience, I think every episode will keep us hooked. Yes, we're all floating here, and if you want to float too, you can subscribe. I hope you liked the work I prepared. If there are other videos you'd like to see, don't forget to write them in the comments. That's all from me for now. Take good care of yourselves. Goodbye.